Today we're going to be solving percent increase, decrease, or markup discount problems. All of these problems can be solved using the same proportion. Percent of change over 100 equals the amount of change over the original amount. An easy way to find the amount of change is to take the new amount minus the original amount over the original. One easy way to remember that is to think no over O. New amount minus original over the original amount. Let's look at some sample problems. The last big snowstorm dumped 31 inches of snow on our area. Within a week, there was only 14 inches of snow left on the ground. By what percent did the snow amount change? In this problem, you can see we're trying to find by what percent. Now we need to look for the new and original amounts. The new amount of snow on the ground would be 14 inches of snow because snow has melted. The original amount was 13 inches of snow. Now all we have to do is plug this information into our proportion. We need to know the percent, so that would be our x over 100. And we're going to set that equal to the new amount of snow, 14 inches, minus the original amount of snow, 31 inches, over the original, 31. Now before we do anything, we can simplify the top. So x over 100 is equal to negative 17, because we had a decrease in snowfall, over 31. From here we can cross multiply and solve. X times 31 would be 31x. 100 multiplied by negative 17 would be negative 1,700. Now, to solve the equation, we need to divide both sides by 31. Those cancel out, and x would be equal to 1,700 negative divided by 31, which gives us, if I round to the nearest hundredth, negative 54 and 84 hundredths. Now we need to look how we're going to label this. By what percent? So this would be a negative 54 and 84 hundredths percent, or 54 and 84 hundredths percent decrease. Let's take a look at another problem. Jamie earned $245 per week when she started her job. Recently, she got a pay raise and now earns $275 a week. By what percent did her pay rate change? Again, we're going to take a look at what we're finding, and we're finding the percent. And it looks as though her original amount was $245. She got a pay raise, which means she had an increase, to $275. All we have to do is plug it into our proportion. What percent? X over 100 equals, we need the amount of change, where we're going to take our new amount, 275, minus her original amount, 245, over the original, 245. We can simplify by subtracting and finding the amount of change. 275 minus 245 gives us 30 over 245. To continue, we're going to cross multiply and solve using algebra. 245x equals 3,000. Divide both sides by 245. This cancels out. 3,000 divided by 245 gives us, rounded to the nearest hundredth, 12 and 24 hundredths. This is a percent, so 12 and 24 hundredths percent, it's positive, therefore it is an increase. Let's take a look at another one. Sarah's height increased by 12.5% in 1 year. If she is now 54 inches tall, how tall was she last year? In this case, we now have a percentage, 12.5. We have how much she is now, or our new height, and we're trying to figure out her original. How tall was she last year? All we have to do is plug it into our proportion. 12.5 is our percent, goes over 100. The other side of our equation is going to be our change, no over O. New amount, she is now 54 inches, minus the original, we don't know that, over the original. Now to solve this, we're again going to cross multiply. 12.5 times x equals 100 times the quantity of 54 minus x. We're going to have to distribute. 12.5x equals 5,400 minus 100x. To solve the equation, we need to isolate the constant here. So we're going to add 100x, which gives us 112 and 5/10 x is equal to 5,400. Divide both sides by 112.5. $5,400 divided by 112.5 gives us a height of 48. Going back to label, how tall was she last year? It's measured in inches, so she was 48 inches tall last year. Let's take a look at another one. Bob's weight decreased by 7.5% in 1 year. If he was 195 pounds, how much does he weigh now? We have a percent, but this time the percent is a decrease, so we're going to put it as a negative. Negative 7 5/10 over 100 equals. If he was 195 pounds, that would be our original. We're trying to figure out how much he weighs now. New minus original. I don't know my new, but I do know my original. No over O. Cross multiply. Negative 7 5/10 times 195 gives us a negative 1,462.5. I'm going to distribute my 100, which would give me 100x minus 19,500. To solve the equation, I'm going to add the 19,500 to both sides. And I have 18,037 and 5/10 equals 100x. Divide both sides by 100. And I'm left with x equals 180.375. And I'm going to round that to the nearest hundredth, or I could write it as a fraction, which would be 3/8. So 180 and 3/8 pounds. Okay, let's look at another one. The local department store marks up clothing by 120%. If a dress retails for $98 in a store, what was the store's wholesale price? Okay, so we need to know a little bit about what these words mean. Of course, we have our percent of 120. We have a retail price. Retail is the new price that a store sells it for. The wholesale price is the old price, or what they bought it for. So a store has to buy it for less than what they sell so they can make some money. 120 is our percent over 100. Now we need no over O. New minus old, original, equal or over original. So we have the retail, which is our new cost, 98. We don't know the wholesale or the original, and we put it over the original. Cross multiply, and I get 120x equals 9,800 minus 100x. I distributed there. I'm going to add 100x to both sides, which leaves me with 220x equals 9,800. Divide both sides by 220. And x is equal to, rounded to the nearest hundredth, 44 and 55 hundredths. Now let's answer the question. What was the store's wholesale price? The store bought the dress for $44.55, marked it up 120% to sell it for $98. Remember that 100% is basically doubling, so it's double plus another 20%. Okay, we have one more to look at. When a flat screen TV first became available, they were very expensive. What was the original cost of a TV if it was marked down 78% and now costs $240? So let's take a look at this problem. We have a markdown of 78%, which means we're going to use a negative. We have a now or a new cost of $240, and we're trying to find the original. Percent, negative 78 over 100 equals no over O, new, 240, minus original, over original. We're going to cross multiply and get negative 78x equals 24,000 minus 100x. Add 100x to both sides. That leaves me with 22x equals 24,000. Divide both sides by 22. And I'm left with x equals, rounded to the nearest hundredth, 1,090 and 91 hundredths. Now what does that mean? Well, we were looking for the original cost. Originally, this same television would have been $1,090.91, but since then has been marked down 78%. I hope this video helped you understand and review percent discounts, percent increases, markups, and discounts. Bye-bye.